Welcome back in now to our post-game reaction show. I am Tom Downey. This time I'm not muted. A disappointing showing out of the Seattle Seahawks in this one. They never looked like the team I expected to see show up in this one. A profoundly frustrating, a profoundly bad showing. The offense had nothing going their way. The defense couldn't really stop the run against Cam AKERS very well. That was a bad showing all together. That is just unacceptable in the end, and frankly, there should be some changes. So we'll talk about those in a full breakdown here. Before we dive in, give me your one-word reaction to this Seahawks loss. There's a lot of words I think you can use there. Disappointing feels like the one that makes the most sense to me. That was bad. That was a not acceptable performance by Seattle. So get your comments going for me. Your one-word reaction to the Seahawks loss. It begins our post-game reaction here with, quite simply put, Russell Wilson. And we'll talk about the play calling and the offensive line and the drops and all of that. This is an unacceptable stat line from a player who, after the first 5 games, was the clear and obvious frontrunner for NFL MVP. I don't know exactly what got into this offense down the stretch, but since around week 9, man, they were bad. You finished the game 11 of 27 for 174 yards, admittedly, against an awesome defense. You're not going to win football games that way. That was a bad showing by Russell Wilson and the entire offense. He's got to be better. I'm not saying dump Wilson or anything crazy like that, but you need more out of your franchise guy. And with what we've seen Russ do in recent years, you expect a lot more as well. So who do you guys blame for this particular loss? I think you can go in a lot of different directions here. I think there are very few wrong answers, quite frankly. Who do you guys blame for the loss in this one? I'm going to go ahead and make this particular question the pinned comment. You got to pick one player or coach. Who do you blame the most for the loss? If you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and get your votes in. I do think that there are other pieces beyond Russell Wilson that are, quite frankly, unquestionably worthy of having some discussion around. The offensive line, bad. 5 sacks. Not all of them were their fault, but there could have been a lot more if Russell Wilson wasn't able to avoid pressure. If you have like a statue back there, if you golf back there, yikes. The O-line did not play well. And there were some other injuries. Damian Lewis left the game with an injury late, but it was too late at that point. Quite simply, you needed more from your offensive line, and I think they get some blame as well. You know who else gets blamed? I know you guys are going to agree with me here. Brian Schottenheimer. Come on, man. Really? Do better. I will be honest and admit that at some level there is some inherent bias here, I suppose. You always want the player just to call the touchdown play, right? Then that didn't happen very often in this one, which I get. And I've never really been a big fan of Brian Schottenheimer. I feel like you can do better if you're Seattle. And it blows my mind that Schottenheimer is out here generating buzz about, maybe he could end up being a head coach somewhere. But why? I don't think he's very good. I think he is objectively a bad offensive coordinator. I don't think he's very good at his job. So let me get this set up here. So I gotta get the weigh-in looking properly. We asked this during our live show today. So I'm very curious to see how you guys end up voting in this one. What do you guys want to have happen when it comes to the offensive coordinator for Seattle? Do you want Brian Schottenheimer fired? Type FS to fire Schotty if you want him gone and you want him out of there. Or you guys can type in KS for no, you want to keep Schottenheimer around just a little bit longer. Get your votes in here. FS for yes, fire Schottenheimer. KS for keep Schottenheimer instead. Now, if Seattle does end up making a change, you better believe we'll break it down for you and take a look at some potential replacements for Brian Schottenheimer. All you guys have to do, if you want to get that video, is just hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way, you don't miss out on anything that we're going to do for you guys this off season. All you have to do is hit that big red button and subscribe. Now, I also wanted to mention some of the defense, and the total points say they regressed. One of those was an absolutely brutal pick six, which I think is essential to mention here in the conversation around what went wrong in this one. But they could not stop Cam Akers. 28 carries, 131 yards, and 1 touchdown. I mean, guys, Jared Goff was out there throwing with one thumb. If I had told you, hey guys, Jared Goff is going to come in for an injured John Wolford, and the Rams as a team are going to be 12 of 25 for 169 yards through the air, you would have said Seattle won. And yet they lost by 2 scores. The run defense was a problem in this one, especially on that interior. The Rams just ran that outside zone stretch, and it was there all day long. And that is very disappointing out of the Seahawks defense when they kind of got things righted and then simply ran into a better team, a better offense, a little bit there in the end for Seattle. Now, today's show is made possible by our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code you see on your screen twice, actually. It is Seahawks125. That is Seahawks125. And if you are, by the way, a new BetUS customer, we'll go ahead and leave this deal on the table for the rest of the day. A Seahawks jersey of your choosing, Russell Wilson, Jamal Adams, just some examples there. If you want to get in on that deal, you have to hit us up, Seahawks@chatsports.com. That is Seahawks@chatsports.com. I will make sure that link, that email link, I should say, gets put in the comments and in the description on the VOD of this video. What you're going to do is email us, Seahawks@chatsports.com. I do want to give a shout out, by the way, to the play of Jarran Reed, who I was pretty impressed by. Now, look, again, the defense in general was not great, but I wanted to end on a higher note here. 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss after I would say, relatively slow start to the season. Jarran Reed really did pick things up as the year went along. So I do greatly appreciate that out of him. You were hoping for a better play overall this year out of Reed from the first half, but a better finish for Reed. He was really disruptive. In the end, the Seahawks as a team actually were able to sack Jared Goff 2 times. 1 John Wolford sack. Bobby Wagner got credit for the other one. He also, by the way, had 16 tackles in this game. He's fine. Don't worry about the injury there. So I did want to shout out Jarran Reed in terms of the positive players from this game. I think he was probably the best one on there.